Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Umineko When They Cry episode 4. So last time the Oshirimiya family are fighting back, every single one of them. They're fighting back against the demons, the witches, and today hopefully we see the end of this struggle, right? Are they gonna win? Are they gonna lose? We're gonna find out, so let us continue.
よくも大魔女と呼ばれた私にここまで抗ったものです。もはやその地下道ではあなたたちの魔法は使えませんよ。
A magic circle column drew a complex magical formula with Virgilia at the center. With such genuine magic being used, Shannon's power couldn't even compete. On the contrary, it was surprising that she had withstood as long as she had.
霊視優勢を確保。さあ、シエスタ姉妹、今度こそあなたたちの出番ですよ。ってまだ再起動してるんですか？
Rebooting.
なんで最近の子は寝起きが悪いの？
申し訳ありませんであります。私たち全員バージョンが違ってて。なんでバージョン変わるたびにショートカットとプルダウンがしっちゃかめっちゃかになるに。前回不正な終了がありました？管理者権限？何これわけわかんない。早く直して。この得体トラブルシュートにコール。何？ユーザーコードがないと教えない？ユーザーコードは45が管理してるに。9999にしか聞こえん。紙に書かせろ。言語支援システム再起動できてないから文字も書けないに。
はあ、お前たちはゆっくり修理していなさい。私が行ってきます。
ごめんなさい。
The narrow underground passage was packed with goats, truly like a commuter train in the morning. Virgilia was again shocked by this congestion.
何をやってるんですか？
Yeah, I like how this battle is just pure fun, very playful, not too serious, not very tense. Sure, it's a battle between the Oshirimiya family against the witches and demons, but yeah, they made it much more fun this time. Not just like despair, sad, right? It's cool like seeing like Virgilia and the others, and the other of them, Gaap, Ronove, struggling, right? It's funny to see.
え？ご褒美が欲しいから一番乗りがしたい？他のヤギにご褒美を奪われたくないから邪魔をし合っている？このおバカヤギたちが！私が行きますから道を開けなさい。何？嫌ですって？ワルギリア様がご褒美を奪うつもりだ？なんでスクラム組んでるんですか？きつい狭い。
I like how they moved her out of the frame.
いつからここはヤギ専用車両に？うぎゅー。今お尻触った子、次の駅で降りなさい。何あなた、こっちへ来いって。
The five in Krause's group dashed through the passageway with all their strength. They couldn't dawdle around in an underground place like this. They had to quickly join up with the children on the surface. If they could meet up there, there would no longer be any more sorrow. At the time, a terrible rumble started chasing them. Had their pursuers finally made it through the metal bars? But they couldn't see anyone when they turned around. However, that rumble and the dirt that fell here and there from the ceiling grew closer and closer, finally catching up with them and even going past them. It felt almost like being chased by ghosts. For a second, they thought they got in a way until the ceiling in front of them fell in and a single goat stood in their path. Virgilia sitting on its shoulders. I like how they put the goat's picture there, the static image, and then just put Virgilia standing on the shoulder area.
賢い子が近道を知っていました。偉い子ですね。一等賞ですよ。後で手作りのサバのカレー煮をご馳走してあげますよ。
Maybe it really was happy about that dubious prize. The massive goat showed its joy by putting its hands together and writhing. Virgilia leapt down, laughing that this time it was finally checkmate.
くそ、ダメだ。魔力が完全に殺されてる。
まだよ。魔法がなくても私たちにはまだこの体がある。
無茶だ。あんな化け物にあの不思議な力がなくて戦えるわけがない。子供たちは下がっていたまえ。私が何とかするから、その隙にあの化け物の両脇を駆け抜けるんだ。
させませんよ。
When Virgilia clapped her hands, a purple magic circle wall appeared behind her, stealing even the faint hope that Kraus had been betting on.
断じキュースか。
How are they gonna escape Virgilia here? Are they gonna outsmart her? Outsmart her? I mean, or yeah, outsmart her? Or yeah, I don't know.
いや、まだだ。ジェシカも戦った。私が戦わんわけにはいかん。
本気なの？無理よ、あんな巨大な化け物に。
むちゃくちゃだ。クラウスさん、他の方法を考えましょう。思いついたら提案してくれたまえ。それまでは私が何とかするしかないようだ。さあ、下がりたまえ。
気をつけて。
おやおや、クラウス。あなた一人でこの子と戦うつもりですか？
わからんぞ。戦いにはまぐれあたりの一発だってあり得る。
まぐれでも勝てるつもりとお思いですか？身の程知らずのあなたのために私が状況を整理して差し上げましょう。
何？
あなたが 100% の力を発揮したとしてあなたの戦闘力はせいぜい6。対してこの子の戦闘力は1000。つまりあなたが100人束になっても絶対に勝てないということです。まあ確かに戦いには不確定要素もあります。その戦闘力に多少の倍率がかかることも認めましょう。しかしそれでもあなたがこの子を倒せる確率は 0.00001% というところでしょうか。
Okay.
お分かりかしら？ あなたには万に一つの勝ち目もないということです。
Okay, we're now number 3. Virgilia and the goat, how do you say that? Guffawed together? They laughed?
くそ
I mean, that's just reality, right?
万一ということは配当は1万倍ということではないかね。いい大穴だ。そういう馬券は好きだよ。買いたくなる。
それを買うコインはあなたの命1枚しかありませんよ。しかしそれでもその奇跡に運命を託したいというあなたの気持ちよくわかります。ですので恐れずに立ち向かうあなたの勇気をたたえ一つハンデを差し上げましょう。
Okay.
この子は左腕一本で戦います。まあそれでもあなたに負ける気は全くしませんが、それにしても何かしらさっきからピンポンピンポンと。
よその勝負受けて立ってやる。左腕だろうとなんだろうとどうせ私は一撃で殺されるだろう。
Honestly, I find Virgilia this episode quite funny. Yeah. I like her personality like this. This is much better for her rather than being the much more serious Virgilia. Even if it was a fake one, right? This one is much more funnier.
私のチャンスもまた一撃しかないのだ。
Like even though she's the enemy? Yeah, funny. They made her funny now.
それに全てかけるしかあるまい。
Funny in a sense, I mean.
むちゃくちゃだクラウスさん。あんたがボクシングをやってたことは知っているが、それでも大学時代のはず。いやいや、仮にプロのボクサーがいたとしてもあんな化け物一撃で倒せるはずもない。
リングの上での試合なら確かにね。でもクラウス兄さんが望みをかけるチャンスがわずかだけどあるわ。彼はそれに全て望みをかけている。
まさか。しかしそんなのもうまくいくわけがない。
旦那様、
見ていろ。一撃で決めてやる。
How shallow. I know what you're after. The distance between the two of them is more than 10 meters. If the goat and Kraus both step in with all their strength to settle the fight with a single blow, their power will double what is normal. Both will crash together, so it's a relative 4 times normal. Even if, on top of that, the strike lands on a weak point for a critical hit, that will only double the power again. In short, the Kraus's maximum power level of 6 times 8 would be 48 at the most. He might or might not be able to win if he repeated the lucky shot a full 20 times. If you're killed every time you take a hit and your damage still accumulates. Let's see, perhaps you might finally win when we get to episode 24. Yes? Okay. If only the series could stretch on so long. Either way, you don't even have a slight chance at victory. Hey, seriously, what is that bing bong sound?
私も一撃に全てをかけさせていただく。ヤギ君も遠慮することはない。本気で来たまえ。
本気の一撃で粉砕し肉片に変えてやりなさいな。
As the goat got excited and beat its chest over and over, it took a position as though preparing for a sprint. Is this what you wanted? Bet your hopes on the greatest limits of 8 now of your power level and despair when that gets you nowhere. It rang again. What the heck? It's really starting to get on my nerves.
行くぞ。
Okay.
いいかね。
The goat howled in response. Then with a match timing that only the men confronting each other could comprehend, the two leapt forward like bullets shot out of a gun. The men howled, collecting the strength from all over their bodies into one arm each. The goat's fiery glowing eyes clearly locked onto Krause's face. He could perfectly see a vision of when he would step forward, when he would punch through Krause and blow him away, and when, number 9, when he would win perfectly. The long painful days up to that point drifted through the goat's mind. Those painful days of training when his senpais had picked on him. So we're getting lower for a goat right now. Those faint glimpses of the warm concern his senpais felt for him. And the joy of that day his power had been acknowledged when he had been accepted as one of the comrades. I never showed proper respect to my parents. That's right, didn't I plan to wash my hands of this business when this job was over and return to my hometown? I'm sorry, little goat sister. Your Nichan always caused you so much trouble. What is happening right now? What is this? And now I actually have a childhood friend and I'm gonna marry her when I go at home.
Yeah! 負けフラグ立てすぎちゃダメ。そのパンチはダメよ。避けて。
It happened the instant before the two crashed and their punches crossed.
愚かね、ワルギリア。冷静な判断を欠いたようよ。
そのパンチを受けてはなりません。弾きなさい。
The very instant the goat's left straight and Krause's right straight crossed. The goat obeyed Virgilia's order with super fast reflexes and pulled it straight back, repelling Krause's punch. That's right, Virgilia's decision probably had been wise. After all, the numbers of loser flags amplifies the power level of one's opponent.
危ないところでした。こんな負けフラグ立てまくりの状態で食らっていたらどれほどの威力に倍率がかかっていたことか。さあ、そこでガラ空きの右側面に右ストレートを叩き込んでやりなさい。何？左腕一本で戦う約束？
Oh, look at her face now, fully opened. Eyes fully opened, I mean.
約束は破るためにあるのでしょうが！また立った！
失望よ、ワルギリア。あなたはやはり冷静を欠いていたわ。
なんですって。直前に気づいて避けさせた私のどこが冷静でないと。
どうしてですか、キリン様。あのまま激突していたら旦那様の勝ちだったのでは。
そうか。負けフラグの数が20でもまだ足りないんだ。
Krause's and the goat's double rush made 4 times 4. With a miracle as an ally, the firm promise of a critical hit doubled it again for 4 times 8. On top of that, there was an amplification times 20 equal to the number of loser flags, making for times 160. At a glance, that was an incredible amplification, but even so, Krause's power level was 6. Even multiplied by 160, it only made for a power level of 960. Barely below the goat's power of 1000.
だから冷静じゃないと言ったのよ。あなた失敗したわ。そのまま激突していればあなたの勝ちだったのよ。
たとえそうだったとしても、この右ストレートでクラウスの頭を砕けば同じこと。死ね、後ろ宮クラウス。
食らいたまえ、ボクシング界最強の一撃を。
After repelling Krause's right straight, the ghost right straight attacked the right side of Krause's face, which had been left open. But there, it crossed Krause's left straight. The two punches crossed and time stopped as each aimed for the face of the other. Are you still laughing?
まさかこのタイミングで相打ちに持ってくるとは。しかし戦闘力は160倍止まりで960。うちの子の1000には及びませんでしたよ。
いや、ワルギリアさん、あんたの負けだ。
どうして？
あんた最初のクロスカウンターを弾かせちまった。確かにその次に繰り出した右ストレートが当たればクラウスさんは粉々にされていただろう。しかしそいつをクロスされてしまった。こりゃダメだ。悪いがあんたんとこのヤギさんの乾杯だよ。
A cross counter has 4 times the destructive power of a normal punch. This is common knowledge in the boxing world. And if it's blocked and the right straight hits, then it's a double cross counter with 8 times the destructive power. This is also common knowledge in the boxing world. And if that is crossed, then by the principles of leverage, triple cross would imply or multiply the destructive power by 12. This is also painfully common knowledge in the boxing world.
クラウスさんの戦闘力は6。
双方2倍の踏み込みで4倍。
It is funny, I'm not gonna lie. This is so weird and funny at the same time.
クリティカルヒットで8倍。
Like, even though this is serious that the characters might die in this situation, they made it very funny.
負けフラグの立てすぎで160倍。
そしてトリプルクロスカウンターでさらに12倍。
1920倍。
Power level is 11,520. Krause's punch now had the power to easily win the first Tenkaichi Budokai. What is this, Dragon Ball now?
これは勝利を最後まで諦めなかったクラウスさんの執念とあんたの慢心が招いた結果だ。どちらが欠けてもこの威力にはならなかった。あんたよく戦ったよ。もう倒れてもいいんだぞ。
Nanjo clapped the goat on the shoulder. Your Oni-chan gave it his all. They gave us some lore for a goat and now he's dead. As the sparkling drops from the goat's eyes scattered, he bent backwards and fell on Virgilia.
うぎゃー、重い、どきなさい。
The goat's massive body was too heavy for the slender Virgilia. She wriggled around with it on top of her, but it didn't look like she'd be able to escape. In that instant, the barrier Virgilia had sealed broke. The barrier of Virgilia had sealed broke. Okay.
悪く思うな。テコの原理を侮ったのが君の敗因だ。
どうしてあのカウンターでテコの原理が働くのかしらね。永遠の謎だわ。
今のうちに逃げましょう。ヤギさんもお大事に。
それでは失礼します、ワルギリア様。
ペコリ。
待って、待ちなさい。これどけて。ガブガブガブガブガブガブ。
After that, there was nothing to block their way. They ran intently through the underground passage. Yeah, these scenes are too silly, man. Jessica had been finally cornered with a wall at her back. Ronove advanced with his magic circle wall a bit by bit and would probably crush her against the other wall eventually. Considering the distance, she threw out her fist. This would be her final strike. Jessica had dealt out many punches so far. The wall wasn't invincible. It had already started to crack, and it wouldn't be strange for it to smash at any moment. However, due to the rebounding damage, Jessica also had cuts all over her body and was all worn out.
もうおよしなさい。あなたを押しつぶすつもりはありません。あなたの処遇は親方様が決めますからね。
But yeah, we haven't really seen... Did we see Ronove kill last episode? I don't think so, right? Yeah, like violent ways. I don't think we have seen Ronove do any of that.
しかし、ジェシカ様のナイスファイトは私からも特に申し上げるつもりですよ。
ふざけるんじゃねえぜ。まだだ。まだ終わっちゃいねえぜ。
あなたは満身創痍。立っているのもやっとではありませんか。あなたは最後の一撃に全ての力を込めるつもりでいるようだ。しかし、その最後の一撃は、むしろあなたにとって命取りになりますよ。
The damage reflected by Ronovid's magic circle was proportional to the strength of the attack. Jessica's all-out punch would be bounced back onto her. The more all-out she went, the more suicidal it would be for Jessica.
わかってるぜ。そんなことはよ。
警告します。もうおやめなさい。それがあなたのためです。
強がるなよ。お前の壁がもう破れかかってるんだろ。殴ってきた私には手応えで分かってるんだぜ。
Honestly, I don't think these guys are being like super serious, like Ronove right here. Like, I think if he went like super serious, Jessica wouldn't even have a chance to do anything. That was a fact. Ronove's wall was already on the verge of breaking, and on top of that, Jessica's fist had been imbued with an unimaginable magical attack power by now, and their destructive strength defied the imagination. In the worst case, the destructive power might even pierce the defensive wall, smash Ronove as well, and create an expansion connecting this room to the next. However, that damage would rebound on Jessica as well. She wouldn't escape unharmed.
もう一度だけ言います。おやめなさい。あなたのためを思って言っています。
やかましいぜ。覚悟しやがれ。
Jessica howled. Putting all the strength of her greatest and final destructive power into her fist, she roared. Okay, we're back with George. The three goats had been beaten down long ago. Without straining to breathe in the slightest, George cautiously closed the distance between him and Gaap. He was after her. He was planning on bringing her down with a single strike. Gaap was also aiming for a single strike. If she let the chance slide, she would be killed this time.
落とし穴は使わないのかい?
Even a tiny opening during the time it took to open the hole would prove fatal with George as an opponent right now. Gaap cautiously calculated the distance and timing, but even as she did, George closed the gap between them.
来ないなら行くよ。
来なさいよ。今さら小細工も何もないわ。私のこの蹴りで決着。
For an instant, she thought George's body blurred and then only his jacket was floating in the air. The moment she thought, darkness covered Gaap. George, with his heel swung up high, was attacking from the sky like a massive dragon.
かかったわね。これで私の勝ちよ。後ろ宮ジョージ
Georgie.
何
Gaap opened a vast pitfall with her in the center, swallowing up George along with herself. These two were swallowed up by the pitfall and spat out from the ceiling of the arbor. But that was what Gaap had been after, so she alone landed lightly. However, there was another pitfall in George's landing spot.
もらったわ。後ろ。面白かったわよ。死になさい。あんたみたいな上等。後ろ宮家の当主なんてもったいないわ。今この場で私が食ってあげる。
George once again fell from the ceiling of the arbor. He had probably been dropped the same distance as falling off the roof of a 2-story building. In the sky, he couldn't control his posture in any way. It was impossible to resist or defend or avoid. As Gaap spun like a whirlwind, she concentrated all of her energy on the sharp tip of her stiletto heel. This was the final strike to perform his requiem. The final strike of the Queen Bee that would bore into the heaven, knocking him down into the true abyss.
ようこそ奈落へ。ここがあんたの終着点よ。
She closed in on her prey and stuck her foot up into the sky. At the time, she just saw George's face. Even though he was in mid-air, he was calmly adjusting his glasses with the middle finger on his right hand. And his posture was still prepared as that of an axe kick. Without the faintest deviation, he aimed for Gaap's forehead.
君がその手に出ることは想定済みだったよ。
何？
僕が地上の君に飛びかかとを食らわせるために飛んでいたなら、僕の姿勢はとっくに崩れていただろうさ。しかし、僕の姿勢はいささかも崩れない。なぜかわかるかい？
そっか。
僕は初めから2フロア下の君にかかとを食らわせるつもりで飛んでいる。君の負けだ、お嬢さん。
It's your loss, miss.
ピンポーン。
Oh, hell no. Here we go. I told you. They were not being serious. You saw her face there, Gaap, I mean. Jessica's last and strongest upward punch reached the wall and was sucked in. It was sucked into a large black hole that had suddenly opened on the wall.
だからおやめなさいと忠
Oh
告した。
no, she's gonna get teleported there. I'm gonna guess she's gonna get teleported to George with her powerful punch there. And then he's gonna hit George instead. Oh my god. Let me guess. Is that right? And then George would also hit her. I told you. Oh my god. It was so obvious, man. Like these demons, like the powerful demons, right, are losing. Like so suddenly. It was so obvious that they were just playing around.
実は全然ピンチでもなんでもなかったの。
See? I wasn't even close to being in a pinch.
ごめんなさいね。
Jessica's fist had gone for George's stomach, and George's axe kick had lined up on Jessica's head. The shocking destructive power imbued in Jessica's fist crushed George's organs and scattered his abdomen. Oh my god. Imagine that, putting your whole power on your fist and then for George on his kick, right? And then instead of hitting the enemy, you hit your cousin, your family member. So sad ending for both of them. They thought they were gonna win and then it ended like that. The same destructive power in George's axe kick smashed half of Jessica's head and scattered its contents in the same manner. I told you. She was like her powers are just so OP. You can literally open a portal in front of anyone. Like if George is punched, right? I said last episode. Or yeah, last time. George punched her, she could just open a portal in front of her and then George could literally hit himself with that. I guess.
だって、魔女は演技力なんでしょ？ねえねえ、リーチェ、どうよ？見ててくれたかしら？
If Beata is watching, she's gonna be laughing now, for sure.
やるな、筋書き通り。やっぱガープは分かってるじゃん。イエーイ。
Beata and Gob casually high-fived each other. Imagine seeing that as Butler. I mean, he's in the meta world, but still. Like he saw his cousin. Two of his cousins basically kill each other. Not intentionally, of course. But yeah. It's quite sad.
ありがとう、ロノウェイ。こっちで美味しくいただけた。ジェシカの死体はそっちに返すわ。二人で寄り添う死体を引き離す。
Separate the corpses of the two who are close. So I guess both of them are close. Yeah, in a sense. Both of them are cousins, so I guess, right?
これで第二の番は出来上がり。
But who was it in the first one? The first one was Ava and Hideyoshi. Second one was Kanon and Jessica, right? And then last episode it was Maria and Rosa. Okay. So now it's both of them. Gob dropped Jessica's corpse through a pitfall, and all the chunks were thrown into Jessica's room. Ugh. As carelessly as throwing something into the trash. But yeah, Kraus didn't see this though because they were running away, right? So they didn't see this on the dimensional, whatever you call it, mirror. 3D mirror, whatever. Jessica's corpse and lumps of flesh fell from the ceiling and poured out all over her room. Ronovich shook his head slightly at this gruesome change of scenery.
申し訳ございませんね、ジェシカ様。ご忠告は申し上げたのですよ。
I mean, I actually did say to stop, right?
もっとも、この結末を予見し、聞き入れないと分かっている忠告を重ねる悪魔の醍醐味は人間には分からないでしょうがね。
本当に面白かったわ、坊や。でもあんた、ちょっと言葉遊びが過ぎるわよ。そろそろ反撃してもいいかなが最高傑作あなた、どこかのラノベか何かにかぶれすぎよ。
In the arbor, burly decorated by George's and Jessica's scattered blood and guts, Gob enjoyed a loud laugh for a while. But she quickly realized that in all seriousness, This was a little too filthy and undignified, and she snapped her fingers. Well, she cleaned everything. As she did, a cloud of gold butterflies rose up around her, stuck to each of the bits and bloodstains and dropped them. Then George's corpse returned bit by bit, and the brutal corpse with its guts torn out was repaired into a clean corpse that looked like it was sleeping. Also, she fixed them, but yeah, they're dead anyways. Was this some act of sportsmanship towards a dead rival? I mean, you can give them their respect. They actually fought, right, until the end. The heavens were split because Gaop had lifted her leg high, pointing at the sky.
じゃあね、色男。これが本当の
Game over. Nice. But she stepped on him. Without a trace of mercy, that foot stepped down and was buried into George's forehead. That stiletto heel that was sharp as a weapon pierced George's forehead. Ugh. With a bloop, it was pulled out. It was like a mark proving that Gaop certainly had finished him by her own hand. God damn. That was such a brutal way to go. Yeah, did not expect that. Renove also returned Jessica's corpse to its original form, and unlike how it had been with George, he restored Jessica's life. She's back.
これは一体夢
いいえ、違います。ジェシカ様は確かにお亡くなりになりました。最後の瞬間の記憶をよくご存知のはずだ。
Jessica's mind was burning. For some reason, she remembered being thrown somewhere and having George's heel smash her head.
私は
I mean, they die
生
like
きてるのか
so instantly, right? Did Jessica even feel any of that? Maybe George felt some of that because it was in his organs, right? His abdomen, basically, his stomach. But for Jessica, it's in her head. Instant, right? Smashed through her head. I mean, she talked it a little bit, but that's so gruesome.
いいえ、死んでいます。私の魔法でほんの3分ほどそれを先送りにしているに過ぎません。3分が過ぎれば魔法が終わり、あなたは無残な頭部半壊の死体に戻ります。
だと
死は残酷です。多くの場合、心の整理さえ与えない。しかし私はここまで検討したあなたをたたえ、その時間を与えることにしました。その3分間でこの世の未練をよく整理されるといいでしょう。
その3分でお前を道連れにするという手もあるぜ。
But the power that had burned through Jessica's body until a second ago had completely lost. Jessica was aware of that herself. She was already dead.
それでは私はこれにて失礼いたします。
So why did he... Okay.
楽しかったですよ、ジェシカ様。
Ronovit turned his form into a cloud of gold butterflies and disappeared. All that remained was the sound of wind and rain and the figure of Jessica as she crouched down, leaning against the wall. Jessica could tell she probably really would revert to the corpse she had been after 3 minutes. Was there anything she could do in those 3 minutes? She stood up with a shaky gait, took the phone that was on the desk. Who's she gonna call? She gonna call Butler? And Maria?
もしもし、ジェシカか。ジェシカ、どうした？無事か？
やられしまったぜ。
大丈夫か？怪我をしてるのか？今助けに行く。
いや、もう遅いぜ。私さ、もう死んでるんだと。バトラーが来た時には、私は頭を半分ぶちまけた死体だよ。
くそじじいめ。待てろ、今そこに行くからな。
聞けよバトラー。いいか、よく聞け。幸田さんたちがどうして食堂で6人が殺された時のこと、歯切れが悪いのかよく分かった。あいつらな、人間じゃねえんだぜ。
何を言ってんだ。
見ちまったんだ。仕方ねえだろ。あいつらさ、ワープしたりバリア張ったりやりたい放題だぜ。どこの漫画だよ、アニメだよ。いや、マジでかなわねえぜ。
It's like some manga, some anime. Seriously, we can't deal with that.
最初からさ、戦うとか無理なんだよ。バトラーが自慢してた棒仕掛けの槍程度でとてもどうにかなる相手じゃねえぜ。
A line of blood dripped down from Jessica's forehead.
ジョージ兄さんもダメだった。ありゃ即死だ。次のテストはバトラだな。お前のテストも私たちと同じになるのかな。用心しろよ。そして間違えるな。
テストか？
違う。敵はどうせ人間だと間違えるなよ。敵は人間じゃない。恐ろしい魔法を自在に扱える悪魔なんだ。そこを絶対に用心しろよ。
A line of blood dripped down from Jessica's mouth as well. The left half of her head started hardening. Jessica realized that she was about to return to the corpse she had been.
13人死ねば黄金の魔女が蘇る。
How many died already? Two of them, right? No, yeah, two of them, George, Jessica, and then the first 6, right? So 8 now? Okay.
母さんたちが殺されて6人。
And then how many is the other people from underground? So we got Kraus, we got Kyrie, we got Nanjo, Shannon, and Canon 5. 8 plus 5, 13. Okay, I know. We can guess what's gonna happen next.
これで第一の番。そして私とジョージ兄さんが死んで第二の番。あと5人殺されれば儀式は完成で魔女が蘇るってわけだ。父さんたち無事だといいな。もし無事じゃなかったらお前をテストするのは復活したてのベアトリーチェ自身ってことになるかもしれねえぜ。
Butler already didn't understand what Jessica was saying, but from her tone, he realized that she knew she was about to die. So even though he didn't understand the situation, he urged her to give it her all.
私はもう死んでるんだって。
The thing is, of course, for Butler, he hasn't seen this magic stuff yet, right? So of course he's gonna be like, what is happening there?
じゃあな、もう時間みたいだ。テストがお前が当主になれるといいな。
Yeah, I doubt anyone could be the head in this episode. And it's over. She's gone.
ジェシカ、おい、返事をしろ。ジェシカ
Butler Sorrelful's voice could be heard from the dangling receiver. As she leaned against the wall in that corner, crouched down, Jessica's head had been half smashed. Also, it returned her actual body returned, I guess, from the state when she died. It was over. Okay, what happens now? Okay, they're outside.
これは井戸なのか。ここはどこなんだ。
Ray stuck her face out of the well and then Kraus showed himself too. When he realized that they could see the back of the mansion from beyond a grove of trees, Kraus knew more or less where they were. To think that here in a certain well there had been a hidden underground passage, which led to a hidden mansion.
老体にはやはりこれは辛いですな。普段は別の場所からちゃんと階段で上がれるのです。鍵さえ開けば。
南條先生には後でいろいろとここの構造についてお教え願いたいものだ。
I will ask you to tell me about the layout of this place in detail later. As if you have time. Can you even survive?
シャノン、大丈夫かね。捕まりたまえ。
大丈夫です。カノン君、早く。
Kanon climbed up a ladder out of the shaft that was disguised as a well. It was probably quite deep. When he looked down for the first time, he realized how far he'd come up. Hey, here we go. It begins. Who's gonna first? Who's first? Bang! As Kanon was about to finally crawl out of the well, a whole size of a basketball opened in his chest. My god. To think that they had hope that they were gonna escape, right? Such cruelty, honestly. Everyone there looked through the hole in Kanon's chest to the scenery beyond. They were rebooting earlier, right? Shannon next. Kanon slumped backwards and was swallowed up into the depths of the well. It is literally impossible, man. At that time, Kraus and Kyrie and Nanjo certainly saw a golden curved line appear from the well and sue itself through the side of Shannon's head. Oh my god.
シャノン
Her head had been pierced. The tree had witnessed it perfectly until it had shot out of the opposite side, blowing it away. Shannon fell to her knees, blood gushing from both sides of her head, and then flopped to the ground.
私たちは狙われてる。走って。
I mean, I guess Kyrie right now she can't really fight because she doesn't have a gun, right? On the last episode she had a gun. That's why she was she was strong back then on that episode. But now they don't really have anything right now. The only thing that they can do is just run.
殺されるわよ。
走れ走れ走れ走れ
As Nanjo doubled in shock, or over in shock, stunned by how Shannon had died, the Chester sisters did not allow him to escape. And then he got wiped out as well. Easy target, Dr. Nanjo. A curved line again appeared from the well and pierced from Nanjo's forehead to the back of his head in an instant, sewing through him. And so Nanjo passed away.
何なんだどうしてなんだ
Kraus is gonna be next.
敵はどこから
狙撃されてるのよ。どこか知らないけど私たちを完全に捉えてる。屋敷へ逃げ込むのよ。視界を遮るのよ。
The two dashed towards the back door of the mansion. Then right as Kraus was about to shut the door behind him, they got him. A golden curved line appeared for the fourth time, piercing Kraus from the back of his head to his forehead and smashing that forehead. Kraus's body leaned over, fell down, and drew a neat radial pattern with the insides of his head. Kirei ran wildly through the hallway, flew into some room, and locked the door. But even so, she wasn't even ready or remotely convinced that this had saved her life. She probably would die soon. This was apparently one of the guest rooms. Oh, this was the room where Ava and Hideyoshi died in the first episode, right? Yeah, it is this room. I guess she found a phone, I guess. Oh, sorry, actually, I'm sorry I didn't read that. I clicked enter. Sorry. After hanging up from the call from Jessica, Butler had been about to dash out. In an instant, the phone rang again. So Kyrie is calling.
もしもしキリエさん
はい、バトラ君。ラッキーだったわ。なんとか力を脱出できたの。本当についてた。
そこはどこだみんな無事なのかよこっちはジェシカとジョージの兄貴がどうやら
聞いて私の命は多分もう長くは持たないわ。
At that time, right after she thought the keyhole of the locked door might have glowed gold, a gold curved line drawing a helix. No, a golden sewing thread penetrated it in from there at an incredible speed and bored a hole into the floor by Kyrie's feet. Oh, that's unusual. The enemy who sniped the other four, one after another, with extraordinary skill, apparently really does have trouble shooting me between the eyes with a single shot while I'm holed up in this room. But the next strike will probably hit. At this point, the Kyrie finally remembered the first massive killing in the dining hall. That's right, and this is what killed Rudolph and the rest, all 6 of them.
聞いてバトラ君。私が見たことをありのまま話す。バトラ君はきっと私の頭がどうにかなってしまったんだろうと思うに違いない。ええ、思ってくれていいわ。私だって何を見たのか未だに整理がつかない。今日バトラ君たちがゲストハウスに帰ってから 食堂で親族会議が始まって、そして何が起こったかを全て話すわ。口を挟まないで最後まで聞いて。途中で急に電話が切れるかもしれない。そしたらその時は私が殺された時よ。
キリエさん。
Then Kiri spoke about Kinzo appearing in the family conference starting, about the 6 being killed and the 5 of them being confined, about how she had escaped somehow and ran away to where she was now, and how everyone had finally been killed. It was all spoken dispassionately, with no dramatization, just as she'd seen it. She even spoke about how everyone except her had been killed and how she had observed the moments of all their deaths, and how even now someone was trying to kill
実
her.
はこの話をしている間にももう3度攻撃を受けている。鍵穴からおかしな黄金の糸みたいなのが飛び込んできて、くるくる回りながら私を狙ってくるの。最初は足元、次は肩の近く、さっきのは耳をかすったわ。狙いがだんだん正確になってくる。そろそろ私の眉間にズドンと来そうね。
逃げろキリエさん、逃げてくれ。
どこへよ。私ここまで逃げ延びてきて部屋に閉じこもって鍵までかけてるのよ。それでもなお狙われてる私がどこに隠れるのよ。ね
さ
え。ねえバトラ君、ジェシカちゃんとジョージ君まだ生きてる？
さっきジェシカから電話が。なんかダメみたいだった。
やっぱり私たち5人が次々殺される時何か予感していたの。ひょっとして13人殺しの儀式は第2の番を終えて私たちの番にまで至ったのかなって。つまり私が死ねば13人。これで儀式は完成。黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェが復活する。
Beatrice.
一体どういうことになるのかしら。
But I do wonder what will happen though. In the second episode, when it happened, they had a banquet, right? And Butler was he was like a dog, I think.
こんな悪魔だらけの魔女だらけ、ヤギの化け物がうじゃうじゃいるこの島に、さらにそいつらの親玉である黄金の魔女まで現れて、一体どうなっちゃうというのかしら。もう私には何が何だかわからない。
Kirei-san's voice had completely given up on her own life. Because Butler understood that he couldn't stop the tears.
一つだけ助言できることがあったわ。
何？
もしあなたの前に悪魔やら魔女が現れても、
ああ、
その正体を疑う必要は何もないわ。
There's no need whatsoever to doubt whether it's real or not.
そういうものだと理解して。
Understand that it is what it seems to be.
何か仕掛けがあるはずだとか、正体があるはずだとか、そんなことを考える余裕があったら、相手の機嫌を損ねないことを考えた方がよっぽどに建設的。
Okay.
間違ってもなら魔法を見せてみろなんて言っちゃダメよ。
Okay.
その証拠を彼らはこの上なく残酷な方法で見せるでしょうから。
信じらんねえよ。キレさんの口からそんなこと言われるなんて。 信じらんねえよ。
分かってる。信じられないのは。だからそれこそが私にできる助言。信じて。
Believe.
ペアとリーチェと悪魔と魔女と化け物どもを信じろと。
私たちは多分あれほどまでにこの世ならざるものをありありと見せつけられても多分何も信じることができなかったと思うの。今の私もそう。さっきから襲ってきて私の額を打ち抜こうとする者の正体さえ私には理解できず信じられない。だからあなただけは信じ理解して私たちに受け止めきれなかった存在を受け止めてほしいの。そうしてくれたなら私たちの死は無駄にならない。私もこうして電話をした甲斐があったというものだわ。
Oh no, she got caught now.
キリエさん。
まだ大丈夫よ。かすったけどまた外したわ。さすがに今度はもうダメかもね。ありがとう。そしてさよならバトラ君。あなたのことアスムさんの息子だからと冷たくしたこともあったの。その日のことを許して。
許すも何も今はキリエさんが俺にとっての母親だろうが。
I felt as though I'd heard an incredible sound at the other end of the receiver, then a noisy clacking sound, as though the receiver had fallen to the floor.
キリエさん、キリエさん。
Kirei-san never answered through the phone again. That must be so traumatizing, right? Imagine talking to someone like that. Family member, someone you love, and then they end. And it's over. It's over for them. It's just... yeah. I don't want to experience that.
どうしてバトラが怒ってるのかわかんないよ。
Okay, so I guess we'll take a break. That chapter was something else. That was a very long chapter, full of, I guess, battles. But it was a very good chapter as well, right? Because they gave us a chance, I guess, to see how Jessica, George did on, yeah. Like, how do I say this? Like, how they fought back, even though it was inevitable. Inevitable that they would die. Because after what we've seen from the past episodes, 3 episodes, like you would know that they would never have a chance with this. Like they would never win. Maybe if we were in the, maybe I'll say answer arcs, right? Maybe you could believe that. But we're still in the question arcs, the final question arc, episode 4. So when that feeling that they were gonna have a battle like George versus Gaap, Ronove versus Jessica, I've always felt it already, like instantly, like they're not gonna win this. Like no matter what they do, they're not gonna win this. But then they gave us, they gave them hope, I guess, right? Like the story had shown us that, oh, they can fight back. George can fight. He can kick. Jessica, with her brass knuckles, she could do it. She could fight Ronove. But in the end, yeah, they were just pretty much playing. Ronove wasn't really doing anything. He was just blocking, right? Technically. But Gaap was actually playing with George. Like really playing. And then at the end, instantly, she just used her magic and then both of them took each other out. So yeah, very cruel way to die. Taking out your own cousin like that. Such cruelty. And then the underground people, the other survivors, made them hope that they can survive, that they can escape. So as soon as they went outside, they got outside. I mean, Kanon didn't even get outside. But yeah, one by one, they got mowed down by the Chiester sisters. Just like that, right? Just like that. But honestly, I I have much more appreciation for Kraus now compared to, I guess, back then. Like, sure, Kraus is like when you saw him in the first episode, I guess. Man, in the past episodes, you could say that maybe he's kind of like what is a word for it? Like, yeah, he's a successor. He's pretty much, yeah, successor to the head of the family, all that stuff. Rich, oldest kid of Kinzo. So you can tell he's like what is the word? Snobbish? I don't know the word, but you could say like he's a big man, like a big powerful man, like not in a sense of physically and stuff like that, but as a person, like you can see him like be very big because he's a successor. He's the head successor, oldest child of Kinzo and all that stuff. But now you see him as a father to Jessica in these scenes that we have in this chapter. He was so worried about Jessica, trying to go save her, being a leader to the family, even though like he lost his successorship. He didn't actually even challenge it though, right? When they were doing that in the dining hall, he didn't even say anything. Kinzo was talking. He was like, yeah, he was just down. It was like, okay, like this is happening, fine, right? But it was nice seeing him try to escape the cages down there. Like, even though you know, you couldn't do anything even if you escaped there, but it was nice seeing that he tried to do something at least so he can get to Jessica. But in the end, he didn't even know what happened to Jessica, right? Maybe in his head, like before he died, like, oh, maybe Jessica is still okay, but it was over for him. So yeah, much more appreciation for this character. Like, even though all of them like are very greedy with money, I mean, you could say that like all of these characters, Kraus, Natsuhi, all of these, yeah, every adult on this family, you can say they're very greedy when it comes to business and money. But I like how they're showing us other aspects of their character throughout the story, like little by little. Like how Ava, look at Ava here, like whenever she talks, like she talks down to people like all the time, right? But when she's a mother to George and a wife to Hideyoshi, she has good qualities. Like in that area, right? She has good quality. She has good and bad. Like basically, like everyone has good and bad in them. Honestly, like these two, we haven't really seen a lot about both of them, but we've seen like snippets that, yeah, they can be good. Like Rudolph can talk all like that. Like, oh, Butler's an idiot, etc., etc. But you can see like he cares for them. Like him caring for Anji, right? When Anji was talking about, like in the earlier parts of this episode, episode 4, right? So you could say that all of them has good and bad parts for them. So I like how the story is showing both sides of that. Like them being greedy about this inheritance and all this stuff. But when it comes to like, yeah, trouble and stuff like that, they show us the human part of them. Hideyoshi as well. Like I always say this throughout the 3 episodes, like Hideyoshi has, if you compare him like to being just a normal adult, like an uncle to everyone, like I think he's the best personality for that, right? I mean, yes, sure, he's greedy as well because for his company, in trouble, they need the money, yes. But when it comes to like talking with his nieces and nephews, like he's always good. I've always seen good in him, right? And it's nice seeing that. So hopefully we get more of that. But yes, anyways, we're gonna continue this and do more of Umineko When They Cry, episode 4 in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.